All right, let's jump right in. Today, we are unpacking a totally foundational strategy for anyone in industrial, manufacturing, or power generation settings. We're talking about the complete A to Z of preventive maintenance, or PM for short. Let's get to it. To really grasp why PM is absolutely essential, we kind of need to look at the alternative. So picture a buzzing, highly productive factory floor, and then suddenly, silence. So what actually happens when the machines stop unexpectedly? Well, it's absolute chaos, right? Production just grinds to a complete halt. And the cost of those emergency repairs? They go through the roof, mostly because spare parts become incredibly expensive when you have to overnight them in a panic. And we can't forget safety. The risks to operators spike massively during a sudden breakdown. It is a stressful, super expensive nightmare that literally every facility manager wants to avoid. So here is our game plan for this explainer. First, definitions. Second, PM versus corrective maintenance. Third, types of PM. Fourth, key activities and checklists. Fifth, the actual PM process. And finally, number 6, pros, cons, and some key takeaways. Okay, Section 1, definitions. Let's get our terms straight. So what exactly is preventative maintenance? Well, the whole point, the absolute primary objective here, is acting before a failure occurs. It's a highly planned, systematic strategy where you inspect, adjust, and service equipment at scheduled intervals. The entire goal is to prevent those unexpected breakdowns and actually extend the service life of the equipment while also keeping the workplace incredibly safe. It's pretty stark when you compare the two realities. Without PM, you are living in a dark, run-to-failure world. Machines fail without any warning, production stops dead, and your costs just balloon. Plus, your equipment literally won't last as long. But with PM, you get way better machine reliability, drastically less downtime, and much lower repair costs. It takes your operation from constant reactive panic to smooth, controlled productivity. Moving on to Section 2, PM versus corrective maintenance. When we put these two side by side, corrective maintenance is purely reactive. It's unplanned, happens after a failure, and guarantees you higher repair costs and a ton of downtime, not to mention a much higher safety risk. Preventive maintenance, on the other hand, is the ultimate proactive solution. Because you're planning interventions before something snaps, you lock in lower costs, minimal downtime, and a significantly safer floor for everybody working there. All right, Section 3, types of PM. What actually triggers this work? There are 5 main triggers we look at. You've got time-based, usage-based, calendar-based, meter-based, and routine preventative maintenance. Now, calendar-based is pretty straightforward, like servicing a boiler every single October. Meter-based relies on specific readings, maybe kilometers driven or the number of start-stop cycles. And routine PM, that's just the simple daily stuff operators do, like a quick visual check or checking oil levels. But let's zoom in on those first two, because they are incredibly common in heavy industry. First up, time-based maintenance, or TBM. With this, you're strictly following the clock. For example, motor bearings getting lubricated every 3 months, completely regardless of how many hours they actually ran. So whether that motor spun for 10 hours or 1,000 hours, when that 3-month mark hits, boom, the maintenance team is out there doing their quarterly service. It is highly predictable and super easy to schedule. On the flip side, we have usage-based maintenance, or UBM. This completely ignores the calendar and looks purely at how hard the machine is actually working. A perfect example? Replacing the oil in a diesel generator every 250 running hours. If the generator just sits idle for a year, you don't change the oil because 12 months went by. But if there's a massive power outage and it runs continuously, you might hit that 250-hour mark in just a couple of weeks. The actual wear and tear triggers the maintenance. Up next, Section 4, key activities and checklists. So what are the techs actually doing out there? Well, a solid PM program revolves around a few core activities. It always starts with inspections, visual, thermal, internal. Then comes cleaning, like swapping out dirty filters. Next up is lubrication for bearings and gears. Then adjustments, maybe tweaking the belt tension. We also have tightening of loose bolts or electrical terminals, followed by testing, like functional safety tests. And finally, and this is a big one, the replacement of worn parts. We're talking belts, seals, gaskets, getting them out of there before they fail. Now, a standard PM checklist is the absolute backbone of keeping your equipment available. The tech does a visual and noise inspection, cleans and lubricates, checks oil levels and looks for leaks, measures vibration and temps, tightens fasteners, and tests safety features. Sticking rigidly to a checklist like this ensures absolutely nothing slips through the cracks and gives you a really clear picture of your equipment's health. Let's move to Section 5, the PM process itself. Pulling this off requires a really logical mental roadmap. It breaks down into 6 clear steps. Step 1 is identify equipment, literally inventorying every single pump and boiler you own. Step 2, prepare schedule, figuring out the daily, weekly, and yearly plan. Step 3 is inspecting via those checklists we just talked about. Step 4 is performing the actual maintenance work. Step 5 is testing the operation to make sure everything is working smoothly. And Step 6, document everything. I really cannot stress this enough. Step 6, the documentation, is absolutely crucial. You have got to record the date, the tech's name, spare parts used, findings, and the date for the next maintenance. This data is the secret sauce. It feeds into your KPIs and lets you track mean time between failures. This is exactly how facilities optimize things. They look at the data and say, actually, scratch that old schedule. We don't need to replace this every 3 months. The data says we can safely push it to 6. It's a real game changer. Which brings us to our final part, Section 6, pros, cons, and takeaways. Let's be totally objective here. The pros are huge. Heavily reduced downtime, much lower repair costs over time, and fundamentally safer, more reliable equipment. But, we have to look at the cons too. PM does require upfront planning and higher scheduled maintenance costs. And sometimes, you might replace a part that technically had a little life left in it. You also need highly skilled technicians to pull this off, and you have to actually stop the machines for these planned interventions. It takes serious discipline. But when that discipline is applied, the results are totally undeniable. As our source material sums up so perfectly, a well-planned preventative maintenance program is essential for achieving high equipment availability and efficient, reliable operations. It's that simple. By committing to these planned inspections and replacements, organizations dramatically lower their long-term costs and keep their people safe. So I'll leave you with this one provocative question to think about for your own operations. What is the true cost of your next unplanned downtime? Are you really prepared to pay the price of a sudden, catastrophic breakdown? Or are you going to invest the time right now to plan, schedule, and prevent it? Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today, and I hope it helps you keep everything running flawlessly. Catch you next time.
Preventive maintenance detects problems early, reduces unexpected failures, and keeps equipment reliable and safe.